Hey guys, how are you? Today we are exploring a neighborhood in Lower Manhattan called SOHO. I am standing at 386 Canal Street, Lower Manhattan. From here you can see the Jenga Tower. We will start the walking tour from Canal Street Broadway up to Houston Street Broadway, the end of SOHO. SOHO south of Houston Street is a neighborhood in Lower Manhattan, New York City. Since the 1970s, the neighborhood has been the location of many artists, lofts, and art galleries. Also been known for its variety of shops ranging from trendy upscale boutiques to national and international chain store outlets. SOHO is included in the SOHO Cast Iron Historic District, which was designated by the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission in 1973. It consists of 26 blocks and approximately 500 buildings, any of them incorporating cast iron architectural elements. Many side streets in the district are paved with Belgian blocks. SOHO boasts the greatest collection of cast iron architecture in the world. Most of these iron cast buildings were constructed during the period from 1840 to 1880. The buildings could be erected quickly. Some were built in 4 months. Despite the brief construction period, the quality of the cast iron designs was not sacrificed. Bronze had previously been the metal most frequently used for architectural detail. Architects found that the relatively inexpensive cast iron could provide intricately designed patterns. Classical French and Italian architectural designs were often used as models for these facades. Because stone was the material associated with architectural masterpieces, cast iron, painted in neutral tints such as beige, was used to simulate stone. During cast iron's heyday, many architects thought it to be structurally more sound than steel. It was also thought that cast iron would be fire-resistant, and facades were constructed over many interiors built of wood and other flammable materials. When exposed to heat, cast iron buckled, and later cracked under the cold water used to extinguish fire. This building is a famous example of cast iron incorporated with brick-layering architecture. Beautiful indeed. In 1899, a building code mandating the backing of cast iron fronts with masonry was passed. Most of the buildings that stand today are constructed in this way. It was the advent of steel as a major construction material that brought an end to the cast iron era. All these buildings are made of iron and bronze. Marvelous indeed. The Mercer Street still has its original cobblestone road, a true classic. Wells Fargo 460 Broadway building has a wide window design and slim columns only possible with cast iron construction. A clear example of the advantage of cast iron over brick and stone work construction. The Roosevelt Building, located at 478 Broadway between Broome and Grand, was built in 1874 and designed by architect Richard Morris Hunt. It is said to be one of the most significant cast iron buildings in the world. Although this building followed hundreds of other cast iron buildings before it, this building is the first that does not try to hide the fact that it is made with iron by painting it as if it were masonry. Iron need not pretend that it was something else, Hunt said. Hollweb Building 488 Broadway, built in 1857 to a design by John P. Gaynor, with cast iron facades for 2 street fronts provided by Daniel D. Badger's Architectural Iron Works. The building is fairly typical of the period, with cast iron facings in an arcaded system with 2 orders of columns that was derived from the Sansovino Library in Venice. The building installed the world's first successful passenger elevator on March 23, 1857, a hydraulic lift designed for the building by Elisha Graves Otis. Hollweb Building uses the strength of the cast iron itself to support its weight. This use of a structural metal frame was a precursor to the steel-framed skyscrapers that would start to be built in the early 20th century. In fact, some consider it to be the first skyscraper and the most important cast iron structure ever built. $500 for Broadway. The cast iron storefront of plastered columns and regimented arches was manufactured by the Architectural Iron Works. Its catalog listed these capitals as Gothic. Above, the 4 stories of white marble were distinguished by 2-story arches, separated by slim engaged columns, which would later earn the style sperm candle because of the similarity to candles made from the waxy substance found in the head cavities of the sperm whale. Broadway. Constructed in 1884, the majestic Queen Anne style brick, terracotta, and cast iron building is an architectural gem in the heart of Soho. The allure of this fascinating building has attracted many artists and celebrities throughout the years. Today, residents of this well-run enjoy key-locked elevator access and flexible subletting privileges, an on-site superintendent, and an updated video intercom system. Foreign buyers and trusts are considered on a case-by-case basis. This is Soho Broadway Street, the most collection of cast iron buildings in the world. Soho has a wealth of cast iron loft buildings dating back to the mid to late 19th century. During this time, molded cast iron became cheaper to use for facades than materials such as stone or brick. There are about 250 cast iron buildings in New York City, the majority of which are in Soho. Singer Building, 561 Broadway. Designed by architect Ernest Flagg and built in 1903, this building was erected to house the Singer Sewing Machine Company's offices and factory. A few years later, the much larger 41-story Singer Tower was built in 1908 at Broadway and Liberty Street, making 561 Broadway the Little Singer Building. The larger Singer Building, which was the tallest building in the world from 1908 to 1909. In 1968 became the tallest building to ever be demolished up to that time to make way for the current one, Liberty Plaza, while the bigger Singer Building lasted a mere 60 years. Its little Soho cousin survives today and still bears the diminutive moniker. The Cable Building was built in 1892 to 1894. It is a steel and iron frame structure with brick, stone, and terracotta facing. It has a limestone base with a 2-story arcade featuring show windows graced by iron spandrels and elegant keystones. It also has a prominent copper cornice with lions' faces, agate dart moldings, and surmounting a canthus. It is believed to be the architectural firm McCann, Mead and White's first use of a complete steel frame in a commercial building. This ends our walking tour of Soho at Houston Street Broadway.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Ho, ho, ho!